more music.
Oh my god.
Here goes.
Blazing across the airwaves right now. Get ready.
Now this is Freddie McGregor, and you're tuned into the baddest rhythm of all time.
Grant's Rock Warehouse is trying to change the world one track at a time.
Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
More music, more of the time.
Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Don't understand what's going on here.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and Grant Kelly is back. Tonight we start our Asia series. We're starting out tonight in 1982. We're going all the way to 92. We want to hear from you in the chat. This should be fun. Let's do it, Asia.
Grant is trying to change the world one track at a time. Grant's Rock Warehouse is keeping it real in the field.
Nice to see you. You can talk.
Oh, hi, everybody. Yeah, the reason my phone keeps falling is because I'm trying to set it up inside my laptop so it'll kind of angle, and when I bang my foot to the music, the vibration keeps knocking my phone over.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rand is trying to rock out, and it's wrecking the whole setup.
The thing is, if I push it farther back, I can't read the chat.
But before we get started, I do want to say a word about Ace Frehley. We did get together. We put a contrarian panel together just right before this show, where West Coast Dave was in it. And that should be up later tonight. So we did a little bit of a tribute to Ace Frehley, who we lost today. So it's a little bit weird to do a show today. I mean, it's, I really liked Ace Frehley. I mean, he was very influential when I was a kid. And it's a loss. There will never be another Ace. He was a true character, great player. There would never be a kiss with how would you have ever had a kiss in that era without him? Anyway, it's a loss. So I don't know. Yeah, Ace passed away. So anyways, so there will be a tribute tonight on the Contrarians. So tune in, leave a comment, and kind of a drag, but we're going to go on because Ace would want us to talk about music, I'm sure. So anyway, Rand, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, good. Well, we started off this set with Wildest Dreams. We're going to play something from each record, but we're here to talk about it. And Rand came up with this idea for this series. Rand, do you want to start us off with anything? Like, how did you you're a big Yes fan back in the day. And how did you feel? I do want to ask you this because I never asked you this. How did you feel about Steve Howe quitting and veering off with Jeff Downs and, going off and starting the whole Asia thing?
It was a weird time. I mean, I was used to, when I got into him, Tony Kaye was their keyboard player. So I saw a lot of changes, Yeah. So anyways, Fragile, Close to the Edge, Yes songs, Tales of Topographic Oceans, you got a new drummer, Alan White, right? And then you get into Relayer and keyboard player. And it was just change after change after change. And they had this song that they seemed to live by, which was perpetual change. And the motto was, nothing on earth can, stays the same. I forgot. There's nothing more permanent than permanent change. I forgot now. But anyways.
No, that's it. I think that's
constantly, it. Yeah, the only thing permanent in life is change. That's what it was. So that makes a lot of sense. And then Mraz is gone, and then they get Rick Wakeman back, and they do Going for the One, and then they do Tormato, and that's the same band. And then there's this long period between 78 and 80, which is 2 years, and that's long in a Yes fan's life. They put out press releases and stuff that this band Buggles, who opens up MTV with Video Killed the Radio Star, all of a sudden the keyboard player and the lead singer are with Steve Howe, Alan White, Chris Squire. There goes the phone again.
Damn phone.
I can't stop that from happening. I don't know why. But anyways, they come up with the Drama album, and most of the Yes fans just dug the shit out of that thing. And it wasn't any kind of like it is now. No John Anderson, no Yes. They weren't doing that shit back then. That's another thing that bugs the hell out of me, is how come they didn't do it in 1980? Nobody cared.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
ridiculous. I'm having a problem with this fucking thing. I'm just getting mad now.
You have a fit, ladies and gentlemen. So
Let me
brace yourselves.
just try this. I'll try this. Let me try this. I'll use the back of my laptop. There's.
There you go.
Anyways, I don't know why I didn't do it first. Well, so anyways, drama's going on, and they're touring and stuff, and there's no internet. You can't find anything out. And then the next thing you know, Yes is done. They're just dead in the water. Nobody knows what happened. I didn't get to go to that concert. I missed very few Yes concerts, maybe 3 out of all their tours, and that was one of them that I couldn't go to, and I thought Trevor Horn did a great job. He sounded really good on that album, but apparently live, he wasn't cutting it too good, and ticket sales are what guide these things. And when the ticket sales dropped, then the band dropped. It's like, there was no Yes, and we didn't know what the hell was happening. And then when they came back in 1983 with Owner of a Lonely Heart, Steve Howe's nowhere to be found. They got Trevor Rabin, which is funny because
but Asia was still going on, so he's not going to.
Yeah, but before Asia started, Brian Lane wanted Trevor Rabin and Rick Wakeman and Steve Howe and Carl Palmer to do a band, and it just didn't work out. Trevor Rabin wanted to do his own thing, and because he already had a solo career going on his side, and let's face it, Yes would have died a death if it hadn't been for Trevor Rabin. He single-handedly saved that band.
Yeah,
he wrote all the songs to 90125. What does that tell you?
Well, I do remember back in that time period. Okay, let's go back. Drama. I was a big Yes fan as a kid. Drama came out. I loved it. Drama is my favorite Yes album. I've said that before. I love it. I had no problem with Trevor Horn or Jeff Downes. I think that revitalized the band after Tormato. Now, I don't have a problem with Tormato, but I think having Jeff Downes, Trevor Horn, because listen to the playing. Some of Chris Squire's best playing, or Steve Howe for that matter, I think is on Drama. They sound pumped up. They sound excited,
Let me just interject real quick. The beginning of Machine Messiah, when me and my friend Bill first grabbed the album and put it on the turntable, we just looked at each other and said, "Is this Black Sabbath?" That is a heavy freaking intro.
Mm-hmm.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, it's great. Dun, dun, and those Steve Howe guitar lines in it.
That is so Tony Iommi. Yeah, just like, great. And you got to remember, Yes and Black Sabbath toured together. That's when I saw them the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They were on the same bill, so they knew each other really well because they toured America with each other. But anyways, to get back to your question, which I didn't answer yet.
What was my question?
There was this break. There was this. You wanted to know how I felt about Steve Howe leaving Yes and getting to Asia. Well, like I said, after Drama, there was this break where nobody knew anything. And then all of a sudden they announced Asia, and it was Carl Palmer, Steve Howe, Jeff Downes, and John Wetton. And we all went, "Holy shit, this is going to be the prog album
I remember that.
century." And when it came out, there's no prog. Except for Wildest Dreams.
No, this is prog. I think
you know
this
what?
is prog.
I will say this.
No, this is prog mixed with AOR. There's prog here.
I think it's pomp. But anyways.
Well, maybe pomp.
What we just heard is Steve Howe pretending to be Robert Fripp. Incredible. I mean, those long sustained lines, that is so Fripp.
Well,
anyways,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, we bought the album and it was a pleasant listen, but we were going, "Where's the prog?" We searched through the whole record and couldn't find any other than Wildest Dreams. And right at the very end of the album, on Here Comes the Feeling, the band goes da 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 da, and then they go da 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 really fast. And we thought, oh, okay, so they do still remember how to play. We were so cynical, but we loved it. I mean, I went and saw them live in San Francisco, and it was great. They put on a great show.
This is how I looked at it. Like I said, I was fine with drama, had no problem. I read that these guys were getting together and it was a super group and they were going to put out a record. I was down. When it came out, I was not disappointed. I was a big UK fan. Now, if you listen to Danger Money, this just seems like a logical progression from the first UK album to the second UK album to this. I don't find
I
it
came
that
up
far
with a
off from
theory.
Danger Money. What?
I came up with a theory about the progression from UK to Asia.
All
The
right.
song Nothing to Lose,
Phenomenal.
just that song.
Yeah.
John Wetton's Caught in the Crossfire album.
Yes.
which
Another
is
good
great.
record. Great record.
And then Asia's first album. That's a progression. You can hear it going all the way into that Asia album. And another thing too is Asia released a single called Heat of the Moment, and the B-side is a song called Ride Easy, and that didn't make the album. And that's a great song. But guess what the song is about?
UK?
Alcoholism.
Uh-oh.
Remember what we talked about?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why John is no longer in the band around 1992.
Okay. Because he's an alcoholic?
He's just not healthy.
Gotcha.
And they didn't want to play with him. I hate to put down people who are passed away, but you know, I love John Wetton. He's my in my top 5 male vocalists. I love his singing. He's a great
So
bass
anyway,
player.
if you were going to rate this now, is so far okay? So, are you disappointed in this album? I love this record.
No,
are you disappointed in this record?
You got to understand. It was different in 1980, 81, 82. You know, all of us proggers were going through shell shock that all of our music was disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we loved was in the 70s, and mainly the early 70s. Right up between 70 and 78. And UK kind of broke the rule somehow and separated from everybody else and put out massive prog in 78 when nobody else was.
True.
Except for National Health, but nobody knew who National Health was. But anyways, when they did Danger Money, that was a prog album, of course. And Alan Holdsworth wasn't on it, so there's no guitar player. So all of a sudden you got this song, Nothing to Lose, which is kind of an outlier compared to the rest of the album. You know, it's a pop tune. Nothing to lose. Right?
It's so good though. It could fit. It could be on this record as far as I'm concerned.
And what's weird about that song is I heard it on a Drew Barrymore's show. Somebody came on and they were playing that music in the background. It's the same progression and the same melody, but I was really surprised. But apparently it's somebody that ripped the song off, so it doesn't really matter. But Asia, we were happy with it. I mean, I wouldn't have bought a concert ticket and drove from Eureka, California to San Francisco and back. That's a 700-mile drive to go see Asia if I didn't like it. They only had one album, but they were playing 2 or 3 songs off the second album, which we hadn't heard yet.
Well, we're going to get to that record. I love the first record. I'm going to be honest here. I think this is the best Asia album, bar none. Though we're going to go through the whole catalog, ladies and gentlemen, and take a look at it. Now, I haven't heard everything. But,
well, I agree. I agree with you about the first album. I think it's a 10.
It's a 10. For what it is.
It's a 10. It's a great album. And Steve Howe gets to do things on this album that he never got to do with Yes. But he put out a lot of solo albums in the meantime before that. And he gets to play whatever he wants on, you know, those albums. But people tend to like the instrumentals more. But I have no problem with Steve Howe. I mean, he's my guy. He's my favorite guitar player of all time.
How do you feel about Howe's playing on this, though? In general, you think great?
Stupendous. It's amazing.
There's the Asia Target CD from 1984, West German.
You're always talking about those. I've never seen one of those.
Well, there's one right here.
I just have.
All right.
Oh, and that's another thing, too. Geffen Records signed these guys, and they were a new label. Peter Gabriel and these guys were label mates in 1982. They should have toured together. I don't know why they didn't. That would have been amazing, actually.
Stephen David's giving it a 10 out of 10. Hey, actually, why don't we do that real quick? God, I only want to go an hour. Hopefully we can get through all these records. We might not. But why don't we, what is your rating? Real quick, let's poll everybody. Anybody who knows this record, because this show's all about trying to turn people on to stuff. What would your rating out of 10 be for this first Asia album? Let me get this up, and then we can just start that. What would you give this, Rand, a 10?
Mm-hmm.
If I give it a 10. Comparing this to Drama? I don't know. Let me think about it. All right. Stephen David, we got a 10. Let's see what we come up with. We've got Christians coming in with a 9.5. God, can I see that? Yeah, 9.5. Oh, you're coming in too fast. Christian, 9.4, cut a 9. We got a 7.5 from Marlon. We got a 9 from Keith. Well, Marlon's not going to grade too high.
There's no saxophone.
West Coast Dave is an 8. We got a 7 from Al, a 9 from LG. We got an 8.5 from Jeff. We're looking good. This is good. 8.5 for Jeff. Our kid got a, what is that, an 8? 8. Cretan's coming in with a 9. Digon's asking Marlon if he likes Asia. Well, that's a loaded question. Dave from Marion's coming in with a 7. Patrick's coming in with a 9. Wow, we're looking good. I'm going to go with a, God, is it a perfect? I'm going to go with a 9 on it. I love the whole thing. I still like Drama more, though.
According to what I'm seeing on the back of Alpha, the debut LP sold
10.
over 9 million copies.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to Alpha here in a minute. Okay. You're going to give that a 10 just because I love Jeff Downs. I love Jeff Downs. All right, Cretan, we're on the same planet. Planet P was on Geffen early as well.
Oh yeah, that's really good. I love that Planet P project.
Why do I like Drama more? Chris Squire, plain and simple. And some of his best bass playing ever is on Drama. I like Asia. Yes, it was Steve Howe's best guitar tone.
Right on, Marlon.
Right on, Marlon. All right, cool. So let's see what we got. I got everybody tallied up, and we've got an 8 point. It comes up to be an 8.72.
Jesus.
I thought it'd be higher, but that's what I got.
Davey, what is Diamond? 10 million?
Oh, Beyond Bolts come with a 9.25.
Go.
Right, hold on. 9.25.
90125.
All right, now we're at a 7. We're at an 8.8. Oh, Damien's coming in with an 8.5.
Oh, we got some stragglers, huh?
It's all right. Keep them coming, people.
Keep them coming. Just don't repeat yourself.
All right, so now we're at 8.74. 10 million. Cretan's coming with the 10 million. Anyway, I think this is a good record. This is my favorite of the lot. We're going to go and keep this interactive. We're going to go play a track from Alpha, and Rand doesn't even know what I'm playing because I didn't tell him what we're doing. So
I think Midnight Sun's the best song on it. So hopefully,
I'm picking something that you probably wouldn't think we're going to play, but we're going to play it. but loose. Let's go. We'll play. We're gonna play "Open Your Eyes" off of this record. Let us know what you think.
That's a good song.
Talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So this album, like the first album, was produced by Mike Stone. So this was recorded at La Studio and Manta Sound. And as we can hear on this track, and Rain, you can jump in, a lot more synth polish. You still have the melodic hooks like you have on the original album. Some people mention that there's probably some more mellow tracks. You still have the original lineup here. Don't Cry, the hit from the record, went to number 6, went platinum. But at this time, and Rand, you might be able to talk about this, but I do believe that they started to have some internal riffs. Band wasn't quite getting along.
Yeah,
This is way more AOR. There's still prog sprinkled on top. Anyway, your thoughts on this?
well, let's face it. This band is Jeff Downes' band. Every album called Asia, he's the keyboard player. Let's get that out of the way right now. So anybody else who has an idea in the band kind of has to run it through Jeff.
Well, wasn't it? But whose band was it originally?
Jeff.
It was Jeff's band.
Jeff is the guy. I mean, how they all came together, I'm not real sure. But Brian Lane was their manager, and he managed Yes, and he put this band together. So
okay, well, maybe
so. He got him to deal with Geffen, and it was all looking very promising. And the first album was so freaking huge. Heat of the Moment, and Only Time Will Tell, and Soul Survivor were actually all 3 monstrous hits on the radio and MTV. Somebody mentioned MTV helped them a lot. Hell yeah, they did. I mean, they were on MTV all the time. And as a progger, this was the best you could do. So it was like, okay, well, Asia's there, But it was great. They put out this single from this album called "The Smile Has Left Your Eyes."
Yeah.
I got the 12-inch here. And I just want you to know, I bought this in 1983. And the vinyl is just absolutely pristine.
Look at him. Look at him. He's like a proud father.
Look at that. There's not a scratch on it. But anyways, there's a tune on here called "Lying to Yourself," which is not on the album. And this is what they were doing. They put out "Ride Easy," not on the album. Put it on the back of a 45 or a cassette. Side 2 is "Lying to Yourself" and "Midnight Sun." Well, "Midnight Sun's" on the album, which is a pretty cool tune in 7/4, by the way. But "Lying to Yourself," we didn't know what the hell that was, so that's a reason to buy a 12-inch. So I did. Yes, I did.
All right.
And what was the question?
I don't know what the question was. I'm too busy running everything.
I lost track of where I was. But anyways, yeah, I was going to say one thing about disappointment. Expectation is the path to disappointment.
I think the path. I think self-awareness is the path to disappointment. I think self-awareness is a curse. If you don't
expect things, you don't get disappointed. Now, me,
well, if you didn't have self-awareness, you wouldn't know you're supposed to be happy.
Well, I fell into that trap. I was looking for a prog album because there were prog musicians who were playing together. And there was no information about what kind of music this was going to be. It was on the back of a melody maker. The whole page showed Asia. And the guys, and we were looking at it going, oh, this ought to be awesome. When's this coming out? And it said the release date or whatever. It was about a month away or whatever. So finally, when it was in the stores, snatch. And the rest is history. But anyway, as far as this album goes, this was a big drop off in popularity.
Why do you say that, though?
Well, there were cool things about it, but Midnight Sun was really cool because the band did that. They performed it live before the album came out, so we didn't know what it was. And if you're kind of like me and you like new music while you're sitting in a concert, it was pretty cool. Nobody was on any of the guitars. They were all playing Lindrum percussion type things, and Carl was on the drums, and they were all around the drum stand. If you could find video of that, that'd be pretty cool, but I don't know if it exists.
Well, Creighton, that might be because it needs remastered. I don't think this ever got other than when this album's been out on best ofs or something where they've taken it apart. I don't know if this has actually been really.
No, but he's right. He's
remastered.
got a point, and I'll tell you what it is.
What? Go ahead.
Mike Stone mixed side one to be played on a dashboard car
AM
radio with one speaker in the dash.
Okay.
That's why Don't Cry sounds so weird when it starts. Most people don't like the sound of the side one. And everything changes.
It doesn't bother me. I like this record, though.
It doesn't bother me either. I'm just telling you what I read.
Okay.
I read it. Like in Rolling Stone or something like that. Way, way back before the internet.
What would you rate this record, Ryan? What out of 10? You are the proud father.
It's not really my favorite. I love Midnight Sun, and the one you just played is pretty good. Not a big fan of Don't Cry. Smile Has Left Your Eyes is one of the most beautiful ballads I've ever heard. You got to read the lyrics. Those are really personal lyrics between John and Jeff, by the way. I'd give this a 7.5.
7.5. Patrick's coming into it with an 8. Grant likes it because it's poppier. No, not necessarily. Marlon, you don't know me very well. This is pretty poppy. This is them trying to get another hit, is the way I listen to it. I mean, it's fine. I think it's okay. I like Open Your Eyes. It's okay, but I'm just surprised that
Don't Cry had a lot of airplay.
Yeah, it was a big. Oh, Marlon says 5.5.
On MTV, Don't Cry and
7.5.
Heat Goes On is the best song on the album. They used to open up their shows with The Heat Goes On when Greg Lake was singing, which we'll get to that in a second.
All right, the numbers are coming in. Obviously, this isn't going to perform as well, but it's I'd say this has the sophomore slump, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's got the best album cover. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Album cover's good. We should rate the album cover by itself.
Kind of what you used on the graphic.
Yeah, I made my own Asia album cover. What is this from, though? Is this from another album? I don't know.
What?
Yeah, Patrick was saying, like Creighton was saying, very thin sounding album though. Mix and or production hurts this record. Yeah, I get it. 8.25 Creighton. Creighton loves everything. I swear to God, he does.
That's high, Davey.
Kyle is coming in with a very complicated number. He's going with a 5.2109. Thank you, Kyle.
He's being clever. There's such a fine line between clever and stupidity.
Creighton, who knows everything. Geffen rushed the band to get out their second album. I agree.
I do believe that, yeah. I mean, they saw this as a cash cow, no doubt.
West Coast State. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to say Asia was a cash cow to Geffen.
100%. West Coast State.
I think that he made more money with this band than he did with Peter Gabriel. I don't think Peter Gabriel really made him a lot of money until So, which would be 4 or 3 years later.
Yeah. So anyway, Dave, Asia is a one and done for me. I couldn't tell you about Asia 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Well, Dave, this is your show. That's why we're doing it. Is it that bad? Is this a band that deserves more credit? We're going to listen to some more stuff. Steve's coming in with Wetton is an awesome vocalist. What is our time? We're at 40 minutes. It's going to be interesting. I think that went right over my head. Well, were you talking about 90125022109? 50215? Sure. All right. I'm going to give this record, I do believe that I do think it probably needs remastered and possibly a remix to bring it some low end. But Mike Stone is dead, so I'm not going to give him any crap. I think I'd give this a 7.5.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if Steven Wilson got a hold of this, he could make it sound good.
And you know what? Because of this show and how this show is going to set the internet on fire, Rand, I'm sure this will be up next for Stephen Wilson. You know how it works on the Warehouse. We're very influential. On
Okay.
to Astra. Well, let's
Well,
get
hold
there.
up. Hold it a little bit. There's something that happened
Okay,
on
go ahead.
one night in December of 1983 that could have been unbelievable, but it only happened one time. It was a one thing. And that was this. I'll show you this. I got the box set. In Asia at the Budokan Theater with Greg Lake on bass and vocals. He had 6 weeks to learn these songs. It's great. And it also gives you a Blu-ray so you can watch the concert. But I watched it live on MTV. And John Wetton wasn't there. No explanation. Nobody said anything. Nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
And now what we know about John Wetton, you could probably put it together. Again, with that song Ride Easy, which is kind of like a testimony or a confession. But anyways, that was a great night. Everybody thought, well, Greg Lake's perfect because he played so many times with Carl Palmer. They're just fit together like a glove, right? Yin and yang. But anyways, after that concert, Greg was like, okay, I played with Asia. On to things, on to other things.
All right.
And so that was a one-off. And now we can go, like you said, to Astra.
Excellent. Well,
the return of John Wetton. Out of the blue, he comes back. Nobody knows what's going on. But Steve Howe is gone, and they got a guitar player who came from Crocus, the Swiss metal group, Mandy Meyer. He's the new guitar player for Asia. Get up and go.
All right, we're going to play. But real quick, everybody, my numbers, this is what I got. I got a 6.6, which that sounds about right.
That's about right. That's generous.
That sounds about right. Greg Lake played with Gary Moore. Well, absolutely. Gary Moore played with Greg Lake. It's the other way around.
Yeah, at King Biscuit Flower Hour, it was the Greg Lake Band with Gary Moore.
I've got that CD.
Yeah. And then when Greg Lake put out his first solo album and his second one, Maneuvers, Gary Moore is playing guitar. So yeah, Gary Moore played with Greg Lake. You're right.
All right. Well, let's keep moving. We're going to play a track off of Astra. Let us know what you think. You probably have heard this before. This was mentioned already earlier, but we're just going to go ahead and play it. What the hell? We're having some fun tonight. We are going to play Go. So great song. Let's hear it. We want to know. I think I dig it quite a bit. Rand, your thoughts on the album cover?
Yeah, I want to say something about the album cover.
Yeah, do it.
I'm echoing. Okay.
Well, you were echoing. You aren't now.
Yes. Still.
Well, your echo cancellation's on.
Okay, I'll go with it. Anybody out there remember the Goldbergs on ABC?
Yeah, TV show.
Okay, so Barry, the guy that went to college, his room in the dorm has a huge poster of Asia Astra because it's set in 1985.
Yeah,
I don't have a way to do that, Marlon. I'm using my phone. But anyways, I don't hear the echo now.
No, you're good.
It was cool, but I looked it up on Google, and apparently they were pushing that as a movie poster of an imaginary movie that never existed. I thought it was for the band Asia, but the word Asia isn't on the poster or Astra. So they were just using the actual picture. So I just thought that was funny. Yeah. I didn't find that out until today, but for years watching the show, I always thought they were pushing the band, but apparently not.
Well, I will say this, as far as Astra goes, of course, you mentioned that Hal's out, Randy Meyer is in. This totally makes a much different band sound-wise, I think. That's another
this thing record, too, that's another
much
thing too.
edgier.
There was no explanation why John left and why John came back and why Steve left on both times. John and Steve weren't together. There was something going on with those two because
Mhm.
every time they did something, they weren't together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Yeah.
Manny Meyer, nobody knew how they got him because, like I said, he was from Switzerland. He was in Crocus. I don't know Crocus that well. I heard a couple of songs. You know, I knew they covered Ballroom Blitz by Sweet, and I also knew that Alan Halter had played a lead guitar song on the album Change of Address, which I still can't figure that one out. But anyways, yeah, this was weird. I mean, and then the word about this was that Manny Meyer was mixed too low. But what I just heard, I heard him fine. So that was like a psychological thing that people put into the head somehow. But I did notice one thing about this album in whole.
Mhm.
John Wetton's bass sounds gargantuan in this album. It's just very easy to hear, very trebly, like everybody's saying. But I think the bass sounds incredible on this album, if you like bass. But yeah, I think Mandy's doing good. I think also that somebody mentioned that it just sounded like overwhelming noise. I think
Mhm.
that's Mike Stone using the keyboards of Jeff Downes to make a wall of sound, pretending to be Phil Spector.
I think all these albums are kind of wall of sound. When you listen to it with the headphones, it is a wall of sound. Now I could see where that would get fatiguing
Well,
after a
yeah,
while.
with overdubbing and stuff, Jeff Downes is playing, 10 to 12 keyboards on every song.
Yeah. So did I get what's your, all right, Rand, what would you rate this record? Because it's a different Asia. I'm not saying it's compared to Alpha. I'm not sure if this is better or worse. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see what we come up with.
It's funny because for years, and I mean years, like 25, 30 years, I was like, Manny Meyer, you got to be kidding. That guy, yeah. I just didn't open my mind to it. But now that I listened to it the other day, all these four,
Mhm.
he sounds fine. He's a good guitar player. It's not like he's Yngwie Malmsteen, and he wouldn't fit in Asia if he did. But he plays really good. He's got some good chops, and his tone is absolutely stunning. I mean, he's got some very, nice cut through tone on his guitar. I'd give this a little bit more than Alpha, actually. I'd give this an 8.5.
8.5. All right. Jeff, I'm going to translate that into a 7. I guess I'm right.
Well, I love that song Go. I think that's the best on the album.
Go's great. Patrick's coming in with a 7.8. All right. Kevin says, I don't think Mandy is on any 80s Crocus. Possibly not. I don't know. I've got some Crocus albums.
Weren't they happening in the 70s too? At the late 70s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Midnight
But
Run.
then again, he could have joined the album, maybe never recorded anything. He could have joined the band, I mean.
Gary Joyce coming in with a 7.5, ladies and gentlemen. See you on Sunday. Take care. Oh, yes. We will be here. Mandy is on Hellraiser and follow-ups. I do like, my favorite Crocus album is Metal Rendezvous from 1979.
Yeah, that was good.
Mandy is in Crocus now and has been for several years. LG's coming in with an 8. All right. Gary, hello. All right, what time is it? We're 54 minutes in. We better play the next track. I'm going to give this, I think I'm happy with giving this a 7.5. Well, I kind of like this record. I think I'm going to go with an 8. Let's see what we've got. We got a 7.6. So this has fared better than Alpha.
Yeah.
Okay. So we agree with that.
That's sad to me because I love Steve House so much, but I just can't remember most of what he does on the album.
I get it. All right. Our next record, we are going to play a track off of Aqua. Today we're going to play, I think we're playing Back in, I'm not sure. I might have switched it up. Now I can't remember if we're doing Back in Town. I could be wrong. I thought I switched it, but maybe I didn't. I don't know.
The intro on this is Steve Howe on a Dobro, National Steel.
I think that's what I picked. I don't know. I'm having a bit of a, I can't remember. I think this is back.
There's another one where Steve Howe came back.
He's in
Play
on
with
this
Asia.
record. Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know, but he's back on it. Of course, there's a 10-year gap. This is 1992, everybody.
And there's a new vocalist bassist named John Payne on this.
Yeah. Well, let's play it.
Wetton, we don't know what happened to Wetton.
Probably rehab. All right, let's play it. We'll circle back around and talk about it. You know how this is, Jesus. It's hard to spin all these plates. All right, here we go. Asia, Back in Town, from Aqua, 1992. Let us know what you think.
There's Steve Howe.
Exactly. I'm running out of time. No, it doesn't. Well, there you go. My God. Click the button, Grant. All right. So here we go. We're in 1992. This is a post-Wetton album, obviously, but he does a bit sound like Wetton, I think. But, you know, by 91, I think they were, well, I think Downs was very frustrated. I think the whole band was frustrated by the poor sales of the previous record. So they recorded this at Advision Studios, and so they brought in John Payne, Al on guitar, Steve Howe guests on 6 tracks, and Carl Palmer is on 3 tracks. Most of the drums, Simon Phillips, Nigel Glockler, and this was self-produced by Downes.
Nigel Glockler is from Saxon.
Okay. But
that explains why it's so heavy. By the way,
Yeah.
somebody did mention that we overshot something, and I forgot all about it.
Well, go ahead and talk.
2 years back in 1990, they did the Asia reunion, bringing in Pat Thrall from Pat Travers and Hughes Thrall and Automatic Man. And out of those 3, I recommend Automatic Man. But yeah, this was a live album done at the Kremlin in Moscow. They did it right in the street. And there's one new song called Carrie Ann. And then they released, and I'm not sure what the exact year was, they released something called Now and Then, which was the best of the early Asia with Steve Howe. And then with the new Pat Thrall on the now part with the band, with the singles that they were doing. They're not full albums, and I'm sure we can get to that. I didn't have any props for that, but you're right. Whoever said, I didn't see who it was, but you kind of got to mention this. This is John Wetton returning with Pat Thrall, and they did a concert outside, and then that night they did a concert inside, and it was November 9th, 1990.
Rand, talk about Now and Then, because Cretan people are in an
I'm trying to remember. It's been 35 years, Davey. Okay, so anyways, all I know is that Now and Then was a cash cow, I think, from Geffen to sell the hits on side 1, if you're thinking in terms of LPs. And then on side 2 was the new band, the one I was just talking about, with Pat Thrall, Jeff Downes, John Wetton, and Carl Palmer. Pat Thrall is a great guitar player. Don't think it works with Asia, but he's good. I mean, I love Hughes Thrall. But sure. Automatic Man, that first album, get that. That's really where you want to hear Pat Thrall. That's an amazing record. But anyways, yeah, Now and Then is just one of those things where they just put out a compilation and said, just throw that out and see what happens, I think. Salute.
Well, it does have those 4 new tracks on it, though.
Yeah, it's got 4 new. Days Like These is a really cool song. That was one of those songs. But I don't, and I think they put them on a 12-inch that I still may own, but I'm not sure where it's located. Days Like These is really cool. And Carrie Ann is really cool too. And it's not the one that the Hollies did, I don't think.
Yeah, Scott says, don't forget David Cassidy contributed to the new songs on that compilation. And what, you got to have David Cassidy, for God's sakes. So
that
anyway.
I didn't know. See, I only had the cassette, and there wasn't a lot of information in there, I don't think. I just want to see if that Carrie Ann is the same.
I will mention this.
I don't think it is.
This is the US CD. It's got a really nice booklet. A lot of information. There's Jeff. Looks like the dude from Whitesnake. And there's John Payne. Look at him. He looks like he's in the band The Cult.
Is that the Aqua?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I never owned that CD. It took me a while to get into that guy. I mean, a really while, like 35 years. So I came up to a conclusion yesterday listening to him. John Payne is a heavy metal singer stuck in a pop band, pop rock.
Yeah.
I think he's too heavy for Asia. He just, he just, at first, when I first heard him, anybody out there know, give me a quick thumbs up. Anybody out there know a band called Magnum from England?
I do.
Yeah, me too. Magnum, great band. Lead singer, Bob Catley. Sounds very close to John Payne, in my opinion.
Creighton's coming in with a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen.
Was that about Magnum? Yeah. So what you just heard, did that remind you of Magnum?
I'd have to listen to Magnum again. It's been a long
I'm talking
time.
to the crowd here, but
Oh,
what you just played, Back in Town, I think the second song is the best. Steve Howe plays like 12 string on the Steinberger. It sounds pretty cool. Another thing about that is Steve Howe does no leads. Al Petrelli's playing all the leads on this album. Steve is just doing all these background things, like either on classical or 12 string or whatever, just kind of putting in atmosphere.
mm-hmm.
Davey agrees with me.
Yes, he does.
Bobcat stuff to watch. He sings with his hands waving all over the place. Hey, you ever see Roger Daltrey? Swings a microphone. Many people have been hit by that thing. I'm sure Pete Townshend has many times.
So anyway,
but anyways, okay, so this is a new voice, and we're going to get used to this between now and 2004. He was the singer for Asia for 22 years.
my God, isn't that hard to believe?
It is hard to believe, but Jeff Downs wanted him. They were together. They ended up later on down the road. We'll talk about how things went haywire.
You want some of that alien. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I'm going to have a hard time voting on this album because I don't know it that well, even though I've listened to it a couple of days in a row.
Yeah.
This is not my favorite singer in the band, so it took me a
you
while.
know there's a new Asia album coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about that new band when we get to the end of this series.
Okay, cool. Joe May loves Asia, even the John Payne years. Joe, nice, excellent.
Good for you, Joe
Kevin wants to know how many albums they did with John Payne.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let me think.
But don't forget, Kevin, this Asia catalog, if you go on Discogs and look at it, it is a mess.
They have so many live albums, you get confused.
Yeah, it's just
okay, so
much.
Studio records? Okay, let's do it like this. Aqua, Arena, Aura, Silent Nation, 4.
Okay.
22 years, 4 albums.
So, what would you rate this record out of 10?
Man. This is really tough because it sounds... did that remind you of Deep Purple?
Kinda.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, huh? It's the heaviest Asia ever got, I think, or maybe not. Maybe
I don't.
it's heavier as we go. I'd give this a 7, but just don't really care much for it. But I mean, as far as talent goes, I would say 7. But I really don't like his vocal tone. I got so used to John Wett. I got so used to John Wett and Greg Lake for that one concert, and I just think John Payne is not the guy. I just don't know.
6.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. I think when I was listening to it, the thing is, if you like what came before, you almost have to. It's hard for me to look at this and consider it Asia. Because even what Steve Howe's doing doesn't really seem like Steve Howe. You've got, instead of Steve Howe doing the solos, you've got this other guy doing the solos. And it really bears no resemblance to anything that came before. Now, we're talking 10 years. I get it.
But a quarter of a century later, in 2000, well, not almost a quarter of a century, let's say 2004, John Payne goes away and starts a band called Asia featuring John Payne. And then Asia is back together calling themselves the Original Asia. And they put up a website called theoriginalasia.com. And it's John Wett and it's the original band.
Yeah.
John Wett and Steve Howe, everybody's happy. And we'll talk about those albums. So you add them all up, there's quite a few.
I like those records. Those albums are phenomenal. I'm just going to say that right away. Those reunion albums that are on Frontiers, love it. There's also a set that you can get that's got, I do believe it's got a concert and those 3 albums. And it's not too awfully expensive, and it might be on BMG, Great stuff.
Yeah, and then we'll go through it all. There's other albums coming, but I just wanted to mention that there at one time there were two bands going around called Asia. Just like Yes.
If I kind of if I can separate myself from it and just go, well, forget what came before and listen to this on its own merit.
Well, this is what I've been talking about.
It's not a bad record.
Grant, this is what I've been talking about with albums that people hate of bands they love, like Gentle Giant, Giant for a Day. Just pretend it's the only album they ever put out. It's a pretty good record. It doesn't suck.
It's hard to do that, though. It's hard to do that.
You're doing it right now with this.
I'm trying to look at it as it stands on its own.
Absolutely. That's the way it should be. No comparisons. Just listen to it for its own merit.
I think it's a fine record.
Frontier says mastering.
I'd much rather have John Wetton, the original band, but if you kind of separate it, it's all right. It flows well.
That's another thing too. They lost their contract with Geffen.
Yeah, but still, that's fine.
I never heard of Great.
Asia is Yes on steroids. The first 3 albums, anyway. Yeah, could be. All right.
That song "Go" is heavy. That's really heavy. That's probably the heaviest Asia album that group put out.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's calculate what we've got, and we come up with a 6.6.
Oh God, 666.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we haven't had a lot of scores for this record. So, the debut was an 8.74. Alpha was a 6.6. Astra was a 7.6, and Aqua, we got a 6.6.
See, that's telling because most of the people that aren't commenting are on my side.
I know. But there you go. Whatever.
Make me proud. But Asia never galloped. They never did a gallop like Iron Maiden.
Well, they tried. Aqua, the Devil's album.
The Devil's album.
My God. All right, kids, we got to wrap this dog up. We've went an hour and 12 minutes. We're trying to keep this under an hour. Right. We spent too much time on the debut, or maybe we didn't. I don't know. Anyway,
well, I'm glad you played the tunes. That was cool.
Yeah, so anybody's going to watch this on the playback, the tunes will be gone because I'm going to eliminate. I'm going to have
Davey nailed it.
Them.
That's it right there. Read that.
Davey Cretin, ladies and gentlemen, without the push of Geffen, no John Wetton, and the fact that it came out during the grunge era, this album certified cardboard. Well put.
That's so funny.
All right, I think on that note, we can end this show. Okay. We will be back next month for part 2 in our Asia series. Wayne and I do have a Camel show coming up. I think it's next week.
Yeah, it's a week from tonight.
So we're gonna do Camel. There'll be more. So stay tuned. If you wanna, the next episode is all John Payne. So
right. And also don't forget November 2nd on Sunday night. You still going to do the Asia listening party?
Well, I don't know because we're playing Asia here.
Well, so now play songs that we're not playing.
Well, we'll see how everybody likes it. If people hate all these other albums, I might not do it. It just depends.
Well, you don't have to. If you don't want to do John Payne, there's plenty to choose from.
Well, see, now that I decided to play samples on here, then that changes my scope.
Oh.
Well, we'll talk about it. We could always do something else too, so it doesn't matter.
Are you in a hurry after you sign off?
I've got to go edit the Ace Frehley tribute for the Contrarians.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's 9:16. I got to go, kids. All right. Thanks, everybody. Look on the Contrarians for an Ace Frehley tribute. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. I raise my empty cup to you. I wish it had something in it, but it is. Camel 50-50. All right, Rand. See everybody. Keep it clean, Wrap the Rascal. Rand, I will talk to you soon. See everybody.
Okay, Grant. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.